Guys, we are back. We were going to try something and then I scrapped it because I want to go easy since this is the first time I've been using Kato clay, and I want to kind of get a comparison of Kato and Premo. So I'm just going to make, okay, we're going to make a flower. I don't have a whole lot of colors. I have pink and white. Oops, that one kind of opened up. Pink and purple. Or do I just want to do, you know what, I'm just going to do a standard black and white flower, okay? And we're just going to, I ran red through my pasta machine earlier because, like I said, I was going to do a different project. And now, of course, I am getting red streaks on my clay. Okay. So let's start this over. Just took off my blades and resetting it. And remember, guys, we got a long way to go to get to our free pasta machine for you guys. Well, I got 9,000 more to go. But once we hit 12,000, we are going to do a giveaway. And we are pretty close to being there. I don't know what I'm giving away yet. I think I'm going to give a couple of those market tools that I made away, and maybe a box of cutters. So we're going to have to see what we need to do with that, right? All right, so this is going to be a small flower. So I've got some, I don't know where all my squares went. So we're going to do, ow. Doesn't help when you use the wrong side. Those can get a little sharp on your hands. And it'll probably just be, I don't know, either a 6 or 7 on the flower. We might have to make a few more of these because those squares are really small and I don't like using the small ones, but I don't know where my larger ones went. So that's 4. So we're going to do a whole 2 ounce or whatever their package is. Yeah, I'm sure this is going to fall down, right? No? I'm going to order me some more Kato if I like the way this works. And I know that they're trying to come up with a different clay and not make Kato in the future. Doesn't sound like they're running out anytime soon, but I'm going to say in about 6 to 8 months that might be different. So I want to pick up a little more Kato. I have to admit, this clay is a lot softer than I remember. I have made a cane using Kato just once. I only had a few bars, so I kind of played around with it. And I know that this is preferred for your professional caners. So what do I got here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. So we're going to do 7 of the Kato whites. Actually, I said I would use a whole thing. So why don't we just do 2 more? Or as much as I can get out of this one strip. We're just going to do 8. Yeah, you guys know me better. I'm just going to sit here and go, well, this is going to be black and white. So I am not going to... I'm not making a Skinner blend with this, right? Alright, so but I want the exact amount for Premo too. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We'll go 9. If I can make this into one, I will. I don't think it's going to happen, but we're going to try. Yeah, okay, so we're just going to do 9. Alright, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, and then we're just going to roll this into a log. It's going to be a pretty simple cane. I just want to see how it's going to work, if I'm going to like it. So, is the white stiffer than Premo? What I'm seeing so far, yes it is. It doesn't lose its shape. And as you all know, white Premo can get really, really soft. Okay, I'm going to try and get this down because I want to put like little stems or something in the middle. Okay. Okay. All right, so that's 9. Then we're going to come over here and we're going to grab some Premo white. I've wrapped up all nice and beautiful. It's not, I mean, it's sticky, but it's not as sticky. And this has been sitting open on my workbench for a while. Got a streak of red in there. And I'm running both of the whites before the black, obvious reasons, right? Alright, so there's 5. So we just need 4 more. Okay, now I notice the more that I work this in the pasta machine, it doesn't really get much softer. This one, yeah, each time you work it, it seems to get a little softer. Okay, so now we have 8. And all we need is 1 more. Okay, so there's 9. I'm going to make sure 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So that should be the same. Okay. Big difference. I mean, I can do this and push. This is for anybody that hasn't used Kato before. Okay, and you see those marks when I do that? Now if I do the same with Premo, I mean, I can literally go into the whole cane. So yes, now I get it. It is definitely stiffer. Okay. I'm gonna get this back. Wow, big difference. Yeah, definitely a lot softer. That's why I wanted to do white, because I knew white, to my opinion, is the softest of all the clays. I have the stencil. I was going to make a cane using the stencil, so I basically marked out one of the sides, and that I want to make a cane out of. And so obviously you'll have 4 of those, and it'll end up looking like that. But I had problems with the Kato, believe it or not. It's really stiff, so it was really hard to make those. So I may just push the stencil into the clay and make it like that. Alright, so there's our 2. Alright. Now, I am debating whether I want to okay, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to put this into a triangle. And the one thing great about this, well, not great, but you'll know which is the Kato and which is the Premo just from the smell. So, don't really smell that. But, poop, boy, it just smells like a pool raft. You know, when you're blowing up a raft or something like that, you can smell that plastic. Okay, so what we're going to do here, I don't remember. Wow. Feels like it's been so long since I've made anything that I can't remember any techniques, right? So what do we got? About 2 inches. So we're going to cut this in half. And we're just going to add our black to it. I think I went a little too far. Okay, so you can see it squishes down. Alright? But we're going to do this. And we're just going to fill it with all kinds of little bee-bobs. So we'll start up here. Thinking this is not going to be a really big cane. This is black Sculpey. Where I got that white from, I don't know. So we'll probably make a couple canes with the Kato that I have. So last week was better. It had, well, it ended better. Today is Saturday, by the way. Between the phone calls and then what Etsy did to me and a bunch of us, I don't think it was just me, but I think I had talked about it in the last video about how they somehow messed up and didn't charge us for like 6 months of relisting. And of course, whether that's true or not, I have no idea. I have no way to check. But 573 files went to pot that day. They just voluntarily expired 573 of my listings. And that's half my store. And after talking to them all day and asking, what the heck are you guys doing? You know, you're a big corporation, okay? And I'm sorry, this is how I feel. One, it wasn't our fault that they had a glitch in their system, right? So you're taking the people that make you money every month, instead of going, you know, we caused this problem, you know, we're going to fix it, and leave the listings alone, right? But no, they make us pay for it, right? And it was over $100. So just add up 20 cents, you know, for 573 listings. And yeah, let's just say I wasn't happy. And I let them know I wasn't happy. And it was a bad week, as you know. Going through a lot of stuff around here. So anyways, we got that taken care of. And then I've been selling glass because work has been really slow. And I had one lady back out on a $600 order that she placed with me, because I had to estimate her shipping. So I had to go to USPS.com, and they don't give you like a discount when you go straight to USPS site. So basically they're quoting you retail prices. And to pack her order and stuff, one box I think was 26 pounds. That was $87. The other box was 27 pounds, and that was $90. And I asked her for her entire address, because then I can stick it through PayPal, and PayPal would give me options, whether it was USPS, whether it was anything. I mean, I could have used any other FedEx. I could have used UPS and stuff like that. She wouldn't give me her full address in order to do that. She goes, no, I'd rather you just cancel the order. So yeah, that really upset me, because I spent the entire weekend getting her packages in the least amount of boxes that I can. And you guys, we're talking about 12-inch rods, sharp rods. I've got marks all over me that you basically need to clean, wrap them, bubble wrap them. So it took a lot of work, and then stuff them all together, and I was just angry. So anyways, I have my own Facebook group. It's called D-Stash for the Lampwork Artist. So if you need torches and glass and stuff like that, if you're done using them, then you can throw them on this page and sell them. Well, I still got a lot of my glass rods from when I opened up my store, and that's what I'm trying to basically get rid of. Somehow this got uneven. So I ended up banning her, and I'm not upset about that. She hasn't come back to me to say anything, but I found her address and I put in her zip code, and it was only $36 if I shipped this UPS. But she shut me down. She didn't want to hear anything else, and I said, no, I'm not even going to tell her this. I'm just going to take the loss. Lesson learned. She's not somebody I want to do business with anyways. And she was adding like every day, and I'm like, you know this is getting heavy. You know that you're up to 40 pounds. Oh, yeah, I know. I'm so excited about it. And so she kind of knew, which I think is what pissed me off even more. It's like, you knew this was going to happen, and yet you're still doing this. So anyways, I relisted the glass. I think I sold 100 out of it. So I'm just going to have to keep relisting it until I make that money back. But one lady bought some glass as well, and I gave her my PayPal me link, and she paid it, and it went to somebody else. So basically, PayPal, I don't know if you've ever heard of paypal.me. So like, if you're a business, you can just send them a link, give them a total, and you give them your link. And I typed it in right, but there was a glitch in PayPal to where it was linking up to somebody else's store. So at first I thought I got hacked, so I ended up calling PayPal because I didn't see the money come in, and she said, I paid you. Then we found out, no, you didn't pay me, you paid somebody else. It was not her fault, was not my fault. I gave her the correct link. She paid the correct link and the amount. It was just somebody else's page. So now we're on the phone with PayPal. And blah, 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 blah. I told them what had happened. Can you please make sure that the money goes back to me? And no, she's going to have to deal with it because it was her transaction. And they couldn't do it for me because it's not my account. So they couldn't go into her account without permission. So she ends up calling the day after, and they wouldn't help her. They said, you should have paid friends and family. And she said, it doesn't matter how I pay it. It's not a business that I'm paying it to. But regardless, it went to somebody else's account. That wasn't my fault, nor her fault, right? They wouldn't help her. So she ends up calling her bank the day after and started the chargeback process. I called PayPal yesterday in a last attempt, and after being completely frustrated, spending 20 minutes on their automated system. Oh my God, guys, if you're in a great mood and you have one of those automated systems that asks you 30 to 40 questions and still doesn't give you a live person, it is frustrating. Let's just say that. I was frustrated. How did I do this? Did you see how I did that? So somehow I turned it the wrong way. Oh, no, I didn't. Okay. All right, so that's going to be it right there. That's all we're going to do. So anyways, but after pleading with her and explaining, well, you should pay your friends and family, blah, 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 telling me the same thing. I said, look, I go, I understand that if you pay somebody, friends and family, then if you mail out a package and it gets lost, the buyer has no protection. Or if I don't ship it out at all, the buyer has no protection. I get that. I said, but this was not that. This was your glitch that didn't even pay the person that she was sending money to, regardless whether it was friends or family or just a regular personal account. You guys are the ones that screwed up. So, I don't know. She goes, well, I can't do anything, blah, blah, blah. I can't get her, she would have to be on the phone call. And I said, well, are you willing for me to merge her into this phone call? And she had no problem with that. It's like, awesome, thank you. So we ended up getting her on the phone. And, yeah, we got it sorted out. She got her money back right then and there. And then, I don't know what happens. Oh, she stopped the chargeback. So the money still shows that it came out of the bank. That won't change. But I said it was such a mess, guys. So that's how I ended yesterday. Did all that happen yesterday? I mean, it's just a blur. And then my daughter and my son, we drove 45 minutes down into the valley. And my kids took me to a Japanese, I don't know what you call it. It's called, I can't even pronounce the name. Kato. Something like that. And basically it's like you sit at a table, you order what you want, and then they send you the meat that's raw, and in the middle of the table you've got like a burner that's built in, so you cook your meat yourself. And all I know is when she told us where we were going and stuff like that, my son already is having a fit. If I go to a restaurant, I don't want to cook my meal and blah, blah, blah. And he didn't know how this worked. What happens if I overcook it or I undercook it? And, he just, nobody seemed to be happy about this decision she made. And I said, you know what, let's just give it a try, right? So we get there and, oh my God, it was actually really good. So, like, you order your proteins. You can, now, if you do, like, I think there's a thing that's $50 per person. Yeah, that's expensive. But you get 45 items to choose for. It's an all you can eat. But they limit you to sitting for 90 minutes. So obviously you can't eat way too much. But you're not going to eat 45 items, you know? No, so we didn't do that. We did something else where you just order the food, which was, like they've got pork belly, they've got short ribs. I got the skirt steak and a filet mignon. And it was only like $12. So like a 6-ounce thing of filet mignon or whatever in a restaurant, I paid like $46. Here it was only like $12 for 3 ounces. So it was $24. So I ended up getting 2 proteins. One was the filet and the other was a skirt steak. And then you got another page where it gives you a ton of stuff. Like for rice, you can get garlic noodles, bibimbap, if anybody's ever heard of that. I've never heard of it. I've tried it at a place called the Lazy Dog. Oh my god, it's so good. So I got some of that. We got garlic noodles. So basically everybody orders their own protein and we just kind of share it, everything else, like the noodles and the soup and stuff like that. But oh my god, we were stuffed. Still have food left over. And literally it kept us conversing the whole night. You know what I mean? You're talking, you know, some of you are cooking your meat and some are just, you know, grabbing your rice and stuff like that. But you're interactive the whole way through because, you know, you're just cooking little pieces at a time, you know, eating that. But we talked. And it was just so much fun. We had such a great time. So I definitely got to try that place again. And, yeah, even my son was like, wow, I really thought I wasn't going to like it, but I really liked it. And I think I'm going to have to take Sarah down on the bikes and we're going to have to try it out. And I'm like, well, good. And Taylor, my daughter, who made the reservations, was extremely happy because she picked something that actually nobody bitched about. But she drove. I thought I was going to have a heart attack a few times because she came over late. My daughter is not very prompt. You know, if there's something at 4:30, she'll leave at 4:25. You know what I mean? So, yeah, she drives fine. She drives the freeway all the time. I just don't like the way she drives. So, there were a few moments where it was like, oh my God, get me out of here. But it was really good. So, that ended up, that was last night. So, that ended up our night. And it was just a really good birthday. We had a lot of fun. Okay, so I'm going to finish this up now. And I think I cut a little bit too much black. Okay, so this is not as much as I would like to make. This is not going to be a big cane, is it? Okay, but we have this. So now we are going to take our Premo black, get it out of our way. And now we're going to wrap, or now we're going to do the same with this. Oh, okay, yeah. Oh, this is a big difference, guys. Wow. I mean, I knew it was stiff, but holy moly. This is stiff. It's not a bad thing, but it is definitely stiff. Do I have conditioning bar for Kato? I do not. I do have some in a shopping cart because that would probably be smart to get, but I don't want to condition it to make it as soft as this because of the stiffness. I think is what is helping people to make them perfect canes, right? So I don't want to screw that up. I'm a little off maybe. What did I do? Just cut that? Okay. So again, we're going to turn this down. And we're going to start from the top. Okay. And I don't have any black open. I don't know if this is stiffer than the white. Boy, it's strong. The smell is so strong. And I know, okay, I used all the Kato white, except for that little piece. I don't want to get it all confused. And I hate taking it all out of the wrapper, but I am. See, so it's really going through it pretty easy. Alright, so now we're just going to condition it just a little bit. Well, I literally just have to make logs and then one cover over it. But we're going to try and do everything the same. Okay, this one, yeah, this one's a little more crumbly, as you can see. And I don't want to keep putting it through the machine or it's going to get all over the floor. And I don't want to condition it. I don't want to do nothing to it. Well, come on, guys. Meld together. I don't want to be doing this forever. Now, I do like that I'm not getting a bunch of black all over my hands. I'm sure it's there, but it's not really bad. And that was pretty cool. I don't know what clay was on there, but it didn't destroy the black in order to get it out of there. So that was kind of interesting and cool. Okay, this one I might have to put just a little thicker. Okay, and a little longer. So far, we're happy and having a lot of fun. Oop, I need the long part. And I think that one was a number 5. Hey, Jake decided to stop barking. Look at that, guys. He got tired. Yeah, so I don't know if I told you in the beginning of this video, his blood work came back all normal. They did his anal gland. They told me to switch to a different dog food, something called Proplan or something by Premo. But it's a salmon. And he says a lot of dogs do better on a fish diet. I don't like that, but that's not going to show up, so I'm not really worried. It's just this little bits that are sitting here. So I got that on order for him. A little more expensive, actually like $20 more than what I paid for his regular. He's on the Purina 1, I think. Him and Makita. I've never had problems before, so I don't quite know what's going on, but they checked the sample. He has no parasites or worms or anything like that. So he just might have IBS. I'm like, great. So I've got him on a probiotic, just a little powdery stuff that I put on his food at night. And I'm going to try that. He's on some anti-inflammatories to see if that helps him while his stomach feels a little better. And we're just gonna literally have to keep trying different things, I guess, until we find it. And Makita's not doing so great. You can really tell that, wow, look at that. You can tell that it's getting close. How close, I don't know. But it's getting close. So that's something we have to prepare for. But you know what? She's had a really good life. I just wanted to have another summer. I wanted to be able to get in the pool Not like she really she can get in. She just has a problem getting out. But she loves swimming and she loves chasing balls. And she can't do it much. Again, I'd love to take her for one more beach trip, but, well, we don't have a trailer anymore, do we? So, I don't know how I'm going to be able to do that. You know, he could have waited just a little longer before he decided to go all crazy and sell all of his stuff. But that's a different issue, and yeah. I don't want to get into that, obviously. So, I may just have to take a drive myself. Take her to Central Coast of California, take her to Pismo. Just get a hotel and walk to the beach. I don't know yet, but I'm getting her to the beach before she goes. I don't care what anybody says. So later this weekend, I'm going to see if I can find any place. I know they have a couple hotels there that are, I mean, the whole town, it's not very big, and it's very dog friendly, animal friendly, whatever. So a lot of the hotels, they allow dogs, but a lot of them are like $300-400 a night, and it's a 3-hour drive, 3.5 hour drive to get this particular spot. And if you're gonna stay, you're gonna stay at least 2 or 3 nights, and well, that's like $1,000, and I don't have that. So we'll see. But yes, I'm going to somehow get her to the beach. Even if we drive down to San Diego for the day, go visit family. You know, they've got a dog beach. You know, just so she could have a little bit of time in the water and just have a picnic, hang out that day on the beach, and then spend the night with family and then go home, right? So we're still working on that. Alright guys, so here we go. We just have one more. You know, it isn't terribly bad working with it. I do have a little bit of sore thumb. But not too bad. I wish I would have made this a little bigger. But since I didn't have that much clay, I was afraid to use it all on one cane, because I do want to make a kaleidoscope cane as well. But I already know that it's going to hold its shape a lot better. I mean, you could just tell by working with it. It is a little flakier though, which I don't really care for. And I'm afraid, I guess, if I put conditioner in it, then it's going to end up making it like Premo, or it's going to be too soft that I'm not going to be able to do anything with it. If I'm wrong and some of you work with Kato, let me know on that. Like I said, I do have some conditioner in a shopping cart. I just haven't pressed the button yet because I wanted to make this or a couple things and see how well I like the clay. It's terrible. I finally decide, hey, I like it. It works really great, and then they discontinue it. I mean, dumb. It's been around for so long. So hopefully Donna finds another manufacturer. I don't know if she founded it completely or if she was like a co-founder. I don't know. I don't even know the stock she has in the business. I mean, she sells it on her own page. So I'm not quite sure who's trying to back out, and I guess, I'm sorry, I hate to say it, but greed takes over, you know. They had a good thing, but they thought, you know, hey, if we make our own brand, then we don't have to deal with Donna, and we don't have to give her a commission of everything we sell. So if you ask me, it's all greed. But without knowing the full reason, I really can't say that. But the way this world has been, it wouldn't surprise me at all, right? Okay, so we've got that. Now I find it weird how much this spread compared to this. Alright, so now we are going to put this, and I think we did this at a number 2. I hope we did it at a number 2. Okay, and I'm going to kind of put this through at a number 5, and I'm just going to lay it, and hopefully the crumbles will stay within that piece. Might be wishful thinking. Kind of. It's still crumbled a little bit. Boy. Okay, so that's the only thing I'm not happy with. It's kind of reminding me of Cernet at the moment. I just want to make something. I don't want to make an entire mess all over the place because of clay. Okay. So this is a little thinner. So I still need more. Let's see, what I'm trying to do is keep that from, you know what I mean, coming out. And let that crumble part get stuck on either side of the clay. Okay, so I think I have this at a number 2. I'll look as soon as I put it through to see if it's the same size. I think I've got enough. I'm just going to kind of work it through a little bit. Okay, so let me look and see if I did a 2 or a 3. I don't know. I think I did a 2. It's just a little smaller than the other one. So we're going to go to a 3. And then let me check. No, it's definitely a 2. Definitely a 2. Alright, so that should be enough. I'm looking at it going, that's not enough. But I'll just add some to the end. Yep. Definitely was not enough. so that's you know what? Nope. Yeah, we started on the bottom. All right. Okay, so let's cut out the extra. Alrighty, so we got a little too much right here. So I'm gonna pull some of this off. That was my fault. I should have flattened it before I did that. Okay, so I'm gonna take a break real quick. Go make sure I don't have any orders that came in. Got all my other ones out. Oh shoot, see what I just did, guys? Just put this in the Kato. It should be in the Premo. Okay, so I'm going to put this away so I don't do that again. I think that was Premo. Okay, so let me go check my orders and I'll be right back. Alrighty, so I freshened up my tea. I haven't eaten yet today, so I grabbed a cookie. And you can tell when it's summer here, everything goes stale. It's one thing about living here, we are considered a dry heat. You can leave chips, you can leave things out for days. They don't get stale. But as soon as it starts getting hot here and we turn on that swamp cooler, which is, I know California calls it a swamp cooler. I don't know what you'd call it, a water cooler. It's just a big thing in our window. And it just runs off of water in the filters. We use that when it's when it's 100 degrees and lower. And it cools down the whole 4-bedroom house real easy. Hold on a second. Okay, the door's shut. I don't know who that was. And it's nobody. Casper. But anyways, we run that over our air conditioner because here in Southern California, you run your air conditioner and you're looking at a $500 to $600 bill. I think we had a $700 bill last month or last year because we had to run it for 24 hours for about 7 to 8 days. It was just so hot and it wouldn't cool down at night. And so we have that running all the time. But now they plan on retiring. We're going to have to not be able to use that as often as we'd like. Okay, so the reason I am reducing this and not putting it on pause is I wanted you to see how this works out. And as you can see, you know, you got a little thinner in here, thicker here. All right. Yeah, this isn't going to be a really huge cane. And I know that I'm not going to get this. I wanted to make like 7 petals. But I don't think I'm going to be able to do 1.5 inches. You know, that would be what, 3 for 2, 6. If I can get it to 9 inches, I'll do a 6-petal flower. But yeah, I didn't use too much. And I still got to make a little center for it. I haven't made anything yet. But I might have some black and white bullseye that I can put in the middle of it. So we'll see if I can find any. If not, I'll make a quick one. I'll just use black for the center and just wrap a couple whites around it. Okay, so we're getting to 9 inches. I do have a lot of waste. Okay, so now let's just get it all even. Okay, let's cut off the ends here, see what we look like. Okay, so that looks good. We just got to go a little longer now. This one was not perfect. So another thing I just thought of and completely lost my train of thought here. Is it's nice to make these round right here. So it is easier to roll it and then shape it when it's done, and then you'll have a nice round petal instead of square like what I'm doing here. So I will probably do that with the Kato. Yeah, I'm still having problems on this side, but hopefully it'll work its way out. So we have 9 inches. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, it's just going to be 6 petals. Okay. So there is our Premo. And it's actually kind of stiff. Maybe that's the black and white. All right, so now let's just grab some black Premo and white. And we're just gonna make a log. Doesn't have to be very big. Like that. By the time we put all the black and the white around it. So now I gotta find what I did with the white. And we're just gonna make like 2. And I'm running this at a number 3. And what it's going to do is clean my blades too, because now it's going to grab all that black. And it doesn't matter, because this is black and white anyways. So let's grab some black at a number 3. And then you just got to decide whether you want to end it with black or white. I will probably end it with black. So I'm going to do one more white. Please tell me I did that right. I might have to put it back in. See, and I got all this black all over it. As you can see how much bigger it grows. Oops! I missed that whole side, didn't I? Okay. Alright, so put that back over here. And make sure we don't mix this up with the Kato. Alright. And then what are we going to need here? See, so as you can see, we don't need a whole big part of this. But this would be perfect if we have more flowers. Now I've got a center. And then translucent, I'm just going to use Cernet on both. I know that Kato Cernet is yellow. So we're just going to wrap it with Cernet. Okay. So this is actually really pretty. With the edges square. I'm kind of liking it. Kind of reminds me of a Japanese flower here. I'm just going to try and give it a little bit of a roundness. So I'm going to put those two together with this one. And yeah, see how wonky it gets when you work with a small amount? Okay. Yes, that one's going to have to be brought down a little bit. So I need to go thinner, maybe? On the center, I don't know. Let's see. I don't want too much space in between the petals. Okay, so that's not too bad. All right, and then we could just fill that outside with Cernet. It's just, this is a little off. See, and then it gets wonky. And when your petals are small making a flower, you're always going to get that wonkiness. That's why I try and work a little bigger. Okay, now we got this guy. So yeah, automatically you can see the difference with reducing. It's hard. I think it sits out. It gets harder as it sits. Like Premo, you can leave it sitting out for a couple days and it might be just a tiny bit harder, but holy moly, this got really hard. See, and again, I'll try and round it up a little more than the other one. Now this is where I like kind of working with a flower while it's round and then make it into a triangle shape. But since I don't have a registration bar, I don't want to do that because I don't want to twist it. So I'm just going to kind of roll it and stretch it, and then just roll it and stretch it. But boy, oh boy. Yeah, I don't know how, like Eye Candy Clay, how Ivy Niles does her cane work using Kato. She must have hands of steel, because her canes are like 5 times as big as mine. So kudos to all you professional cane makers that make such big canes. So the only thing I wonder though, I mean, if you look on some of Kato's website, they do say you can put it in the oven at a 275, but optimal strength would be 300, right? But if you're just adding like this flower, it would be more of an embellishment. I think you can get away with the 275. Now, if I was making a veneer or kaleidoscope cane just using this, then yeah, I would go to a 300. And definitely, like Rebecca said in her comment, definitely tint it. Or somebody did. I'm not sure who said it, but yes, they said they tint it. They go for 300. You know, so just take extra precautions if you're mixing the clays. So thank you guys for all that advice. I will use that as well. I don't normally tint when I just use translucent. I've never really had problems with it burning. But I do use my home oven. I don't know if that makes a difference or not, but... Okay, so I could possibly get 7 out of this. But you know what? I'm not. I'm just going to leave it as is. Because, yeah, see, all this has got to come off. And I still got to get it perfect. And, yeah, so the smell is not so bad on this batch as the last one. I can smell it, but it's not making me gag. So, I guess that's a good thing when it doesn't make you gag, right? Alright, so we have 9 inches here. Not real happy with this side, because there's a piece right there, but I'm not going to worry about it. I think it still looks okay. And by the time I'm done with this, I'm going to end up having to cut the ends anyways. Okay, so we're going to do the same. Whew, God, that's strong. It's strong, guys. It is just so strong. Okay, so I'm going to make one bullseye cane now with this. So, here's our black right here. Back to the crumble. So again, we're just going to make a log. And I think I'm going to go a little smaller on the log. So I'm going to put this rest of that log over there so I don't lose it. And again, when they're both put together, the only way to figure out which is going to be the smell. So, I'm not worried about that. It's got a little bit of air in it. So we're just going to shove that up there. I'm going to take this, and this is going to be at a number 3. And I don't want to put such a thick piece through. So what do I have? I only have 2. So I only need 2 strips, right? I mean, I do have blackout. That would probably help condition this a little bit. But that stuff, that pigment gets all over the place. So I'm trying to avoid using any kind of additive. At least this time around. Okay. Now, I know there's Souffle by Sculpey. So I think we might have to make another flower, whether it's today or tomorrow, using Souffle. I may do that in this one, but I may not have you watch it. I mean, I'll cut everything out. I got a lot of air in there. I may cut it all out and maybe pause you a few on that since it'll be the same thing. But that way you can basically see what it's like using Sculpey Souffle. Now, I don't use Fimo at all. I know there's like a Fimo Professional that I think is a little, I think it's a little hard. And people have problems using that one as well. If it's that and Premo, I don't see if there'd really be a big difference in those two. But all the Fimos that I've used have been just really soft for me. And so it's not my go-to. I do have a bunch of it. I don't know what colors I have, but I do have some Fimo. So I can try using one of those and try an experiment with Fimo and Sculpey. Be nice doing it all at once though, because then I can get the feels for each one at the time. Okay, so we're going to do one more white. And I'm hoping I don't have to break out any more white. Hopefully, this will be enough. So I made it a little smaller for that reason. And yeah, I know it's a little big on some areas. I'm just going to fill those guys in. It's not going to work though. I'm going to need more clay. Oi. Okay, so it's a little sticky. As you can see, I just really didn't want to open up another bar. Wow, so when you think about it, wow, I don't, how can that be? A 2-ounce bar should not only make one flower. There is like no way. But I don't see any other, what are these, 2-ounce bars? They're supposed to be. But that makes absolutely no sense that I've got. I mean, look how small this cane is. It's not even big. So how did I use literally 2 ounces for one cane? That doesn't make sense. That's kind of blowing my mind right now. Because there's no way one cane out of one bar. No. There's no way. If so, that's a game changer. But I mean, clay is clay, you would think. Wow, no, that just doesn't make sense. Literally does not make sense how I only got this tiny little flower out of it. And sure enough, guys, this is one stupid little bar of cane. Wow, okay, that's weird because I've never seen that before. I know that. I know that I don't use that much when I make canes. There's just no way. Okay, gotta smell it because it just looks really flimsy here. So I wanted to make sure I was using the right clay here. And yep, I got a little bit of piecing together to do here. Wow, I'm just, again, I'm blown away. That's horrible. So I didn't quite use, I mean, I've got all this black left. So I used what, about 1.5 things. So what? About 3 ounces of clay. Wow, I don't know. That just really seems odd to me. Maybe it's because I use the pound packages of the Premo that I'm not really seeing how much I use. I don't know. It just doesn't seem worth it though for one flower. So yeah, sorry, that was a little mini meltdown because that just seemed really strange. And again, that was a small cane. But I guess I've never really used a solid white cane for a flower. It's usually a Skinner blend of something else, so that could be it. Alright, so I'm just taking it at the half point. And I'm going to go 1.5. Piece of dog hair, of course. So do that and do that. Okay, we need to go just a little smaller. So now I just got to remember to put this. Yeah. Another reason I don't like working with too many different clays is getting them all mixed up. So I have to make a little separate box for this. Okay, but not hard at all reducing this. I mean, it's actually softening up. Okay, so this makes it kind of tight. All right. It doesn't really stick as much as the Premo, which I kind of like that. So yeah, I'm already seeing some cons, some pros. I mean, it doesn't really matter, does it? I'm talking about a clay that's not going to be continued for very long, so does it make sense? No. And all this, I don't care if it's Premo or Scopi. I'm just going to mix it all together anyways. It's just going to be a core bead of black or gray. Alright, so let me go wash my hands, get some Cernit, and we'll put these two together. See you in a bit. So now for the fun stuff, right? The Cernit. It's the one that I always have issues with. So, hopefully this is fresh. It's kind of bendable, but that doesn't mean a darn thing. So I'm going to make sure I've got all this white off my fingers. Or not white, black. And I'm going to clean my pasta machine blade really quick. Fresh new batch, right? Should be soft. Well, I don't know. I guess we're going to find out. So we need a big strip to go around it, but we also need little strips to go in the middle. So this is like a 250 gram. So, yeah, so we just got, not too bad, but we got a little bit of black and white, and it's usually just the front blade. The back one seems to stay pretty clean. Alright, let's put that back in. One thing about the Monified pasta machines, they sure make it so easy to clean. I really like it. Alright, so let's just take this and we're just going to roll it. And we're going to turn it into a triangle if we can stick it to the table here. One thing about Cernit is, man, you pull it and it the shape changes very quickly when it's fresh. So I don't know if these are too small, but it doesn't matter which one of these is go on. I'm going to use Cernit on both of them. I think that one went into this side right here. And the purpose is just to basically separate the petals. And if it's a tight fit, then it makes it a little difficult because it is adding space. So you don't want your petals to fit too snug next to each other, or you're going to have a hard time getting these in without distorting the actual flower cane. And yes, these will go online for sale. This might be getting a little thin, so I might have to re-roll this stuff. We'll see in a minute. Okay. Yeah, I don't like that one at all. So literally, you just have to pull it and it'll go in a shape. Okay, so what do I have? One more. Oh, I don't know what happened there. Just a little too soft. Okay. Okay, that's one down. This one I don't think I made as tight. I don't know. That's too thin. So that one is a no-go from there to there. This one might be a little tight too. Maybe. I got a lot of space right here. So we're just going to kind of push it into this petal. I kind of do that and make that a tighter fit, and then that'll give me enough room for all of it. And then we just got to reduce them to about 1/2 inch. Just going to grab all this and just bundle it all together and start all over again. Now, I don't know what Cernit I got before. I ordered some off of Amazon once, and it came from England. It was soft, but it wasn't, it must have been 500 grams because it was really a big package. I think I still have some left, but boy, it's hard as a rock. And I haven't yet put any like baby oil or anything into it to try and soften it up, which I really need to do. And that way it's ready for the future, but I haven't done that yet. When this stuff gets hard, oh my God, it's horrible. Why does this seem really thin? I don't know. Maybe not. Yeah. See, it's already misshapen. Usually, I put the translucent in right when I'm done with the flower. I don't know if that had anything to do with it because I waited a little bit and made that other cane. I'm not really sure, but it got really hard. And this is the Premo, so it's a little odd. Just doesn't want to separate for me. Okay, one more. Yeah, you can see how much this got misshapen just by doing what I did compared to that one. Okay, so yes, as you already know, it is a lot stiffer using Kato. Okay, I'm going to do this at a 0. See what this is like running through the pasta machine. No crumbling whatsoever. So that, my friends, is awesome. Oh. And what I was hoping for. Okay, so this is stinky. I gotta remember which is which, because once this cover goes over, we're not gonna know which one is which. And yeah, again, it's gonna be a small cane. I think I used the wrong side of the blade. Okay, make sure that it's all the way up the top. Okay, and let's see. Do you think I can make one for that one? I don't know. I think I'm going to have to pull some more out. But we're going to see what happens here. Yeah, we're going to definitely need one more strip here. I might end up putting it in a Ziploc bag, putting a straw in the bag and sucking all the moisture out of it to see if we can keep this as soft as it is today, because I'm liking it soft like this. All right. Yeah, I'm missing just a little bit. Not much. So I'm just going to slide that right there. Try not to waste any of this stuff, right? Neighborhood dogs are barking, and there goes Jake. Okay, so. Okay, that's Kato. This is Premo. And this is not going to take very long to reduce. So we'll stay here with you guys and reduce the whole thing. Okay. This mushy. And I don't want a lot of waste, so I should be doing it like this instead of rolling it. Yeah, a lot of waste already. It's so mushy. But now, when you get to that point, you can start just pulling it. Got some new cutters going up tomorrow. I put up some new cutters a couple days ago. I have my little pasta machine helper, I guess you can call it. So you know how you don't want your Skinner blends to get really long? I don't know if that makes sense, but you know how somebody says, you know, they're trying to do a Skinner blend and it spreads? If you don't want it to spread, take a block of clay like this and put it on your rollers on your pasta machine and it won't go past it. So I have a tool now, which is right here. Okay, so basically you're going to put that on your rollers. And after I'm done with this video, I will show you how it works. And then that way you can see. And then that'll keep your Skinner blends at a certain size. Okay, so this made a lot more than I thought it would. I usually go about 1/2 inch on my flour clay, canes clay. I do have a lot of waste, however. Oh. Okay. So, they gotta be even. They gotta be the same size for everybody, but yeah, I just stretch them, and I don't know if it says Cernet. It could be. But I just want to get that end a little bit more even here. All right, so 2 inches. And then I usually keep the end one for me. Okay, so there's our little flowers using Premo, black and white. Okay, those cute little flowers. So I'm going to put these on paper to leach them before I wrap them. Okay, and now let's see how long it takes to do the Kato cane. To get it started, it's nice to just lay it down like that on its side. That way you're not really getting any waste. And then my regular way is just going about 1/4 inch down. Just pushing it up. Do it on the other side. So when I put these online, I'm not going to know which is which. I guess you can still smell it, but I'm not going to list them separate. They're just going to be flowers. If they look a whole lot different, then yeah, then I'm going to list them differently. So a little harder getting them to spread. My hands will probably hate me later. But all in all, not really bad. Not as bad as I remember. The smell's not as bad as I remember. So that's always a good sign, I think. But again, does it really matter? So, yeah, I really would like to know what Donna Kato's going to do with her clay now. I mean, did she sell it to the people? Does anybody know? It's just been around for so long, right? It's probably the first ones that were out there way before I got started in this. I didn't get started in clay until, well, I've had it for quite a few years, but I was always intimidated. And so I never made anything and ended up giving it to my daughter-in-law's sister because she was into all kinds of crafts. And then I got the little bug again, and it was like, all right, let's try it again, you know, and I did. And it was during COVID when I couldn't work, and we got shut down for almost 6 months. And that's when I started the cutter business, and that's when I made my first flower on YouTube. So wow, I think we're almost at 4 years on YouTube now. Not growing as fast as I would like, and I know I'm boring. I know you guys are all going to give me good words, and that's fine, but you know, it doesn't really matter. This is just something I like to do to keep my sanity, and if it can help you guys, then it's worth it. It's not all about the money. Even though right now it's nice as I'm working on my teeth, but no, I got other ways to make money. I couldn't imagine doing this as my sole income. And there's so many out there that do, but you know, you just watch some of their stuff and their TikTok stuff, and they're just dumb stuff. And they're millionaires from it. And it's like, what's going to happen when reality sinks in and your antics aren't funny anymore and nobody wants to watch it anymore? You know? It's like, then what are you going to do? You have no schooling. You have no backup. You have no experience in the real world. You know? That's what scares me more about this generation. Is nobody wants to go to work. And I get it, working for yourself. But you know what? Working for yourself is great if you have a good plan. You know, there's a lot of self-employed people that don't have any kind of, what do you want to put it? There's no retirement. If you're not putting in to Social Security, which a lot of people don't, then what's going to happen when you retire and you have no money? I still believe trade school is the way to go. A degree is nice. A lot of companies are asking for bachelors now. But a degree is an experience. You know, if I was young, would I go into nursing? That was my big thing. Or would I go to MIT, literally, and get into all the computer stuff? Because I have a computer graphics degree. I never use it, but I do have one. I also have medical assisting. I've got the EMT. I mean, I've got all of it. And I just, yeah, I don't know. Didn't use it. Alright, guys. So this now is the Kato. So, let me find the other. I have to say I am impressed. Okay, so there's your Kato, and there's your Premo. So you've got your cool flowers, but look at how all of these petals, compared to these, kept their shape so beautifully. Wow, that is really impressive. So the next thing we do is we're going to make some canes. Like a kaleidoscope cane is our next one with Kato. So I don't want to attach these together. I just want to make sure I've got all Kato. So I've got 2, 4, 6, 8. That was the end one. That'll end up keeping for me. So there's 9 of those. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, and I have 8 of these. So I will still put them all up. You know, because they're not bad flowers. But I have to admit, I really like how this kept its shape a lot better. Alright, guys, so that's it. And, clean up here, and we'll see if we can make another one. And just keep playing around with the Kato. Smell honestly, not bad. Not bad at all. So I think that's what we're going to use. All right, guys. We'll talk to you later. Thanks for joining me. Have a wonderful weekend, and we'll talk to you in a few days. Bye.